Nintendo Switch games, new Pokémon game to be released this year? A new survey sent out by Nintendo of Europe seems to suggest we could see a Pokémon game for the Nintendo Switch in 2018. The survey, which was originally posted by a Brazilian reporter, lists a Pokémon title as a game that could see a release this calendar year. The game is referred to as a Pokémon RPG 2, suggesting it will be a mainline entry in the series, and might also suggest there is another non-RPG game in the works too. Many fans are asking for a Switch version of N64 classic Pokémon Snap. We know there is a Pokémon game coming for the Switch, but right now Nintendo has yet to announce a release window or indeed any sort of solid information about the title. In previous years, mainline Pokémon game announcements have dropped as late as May however, so we may still have a little while to wait before Nintendo reveals more official information. It's worth bearing in mind that the language in this survey suggests it's being used to gauge fan excitement and reception. The question stated at the top of the page asks, "Here's a survey for you. How probable is it that you will acquire the following games in the next 12 months? Translation via Resetera user Didaris, so this survey may not necessarily be pointing to a new Pokémon release this year on its own, however, there is a lot of other information we can glean about a new Pokémon RPG release from elsewhere. This comes after new comments from staffers close to the series suggest Nintendo's successful new console could see the highly anticipated Pokémon game release this year. Speaking to Japanese magazine Famitsu, with quotes via Go Nintendo, Game Freak designer Kazumasa Iwao has stated that the company intends to hype up the long-running franchise in 2018. His quote to the magazine reads, "Happy New Year." In 2017 we were able to release Pokémon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and we express our deep gratitude to everyone who has been playing it. In 2018 we will still continue to hype up Pokémon, so please look forward to it. On its own, this news may not be the most conclusive evidence that a new game will release this year, but alongside new job listings and a statement from Game Freak that the Switch will see a main Pokémon RPG, we expect to hear news about the new project sooner rather than later. Typically, Pokémon games release in early March or mid-October. It's too late for a mid-March release, but a Q3 release for the game isn't out of the question, especially if Nintendo wants to hit its projected 25–30 million Switch sales target by the end of the year. Traditionally, Pokémon games are seen as system sellers for Nintendo consoles. It's estimated that thanks to the release of Diamond and Pearl on the Nintendo DS, for example, Pokémon helped sell an additional 500,000 DS units the year it was released. An early release on the Switch would break with tradition for the series, however, Pokémon games usually come to Nintendo formats later, rather than sooner. Still, if that means we get a full home console Pokémon game sooner rather than later, we won't complain. This comes after a new job listing from the developers behind the Pokémon games could point to a distinctly different direction for the classic games. The job listing from Creatures Incorporated appears to show the UI for high-end game engine Unreal Engine 4, which has been used to make games like Tekken 7, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Street Fighter V, Fortnite and more besides. The engine is known for its versatility and compatibility with various platforms, including the Nintendo Switch. If Creatures, Incorporated is moving away from its own engine and plans to make a new Pokémon game in Unreal, we could see more detail and better quality graphics than we've ever seen before in a Pokémon game. This job ad was originally spotted by user NMKD on Reddit. We may also see the removal of the fixed camera that's been in the games since they launched back on the original Game Boy. The job listing shows Unreal Engine 4 open beside an image of a high-polygon model of a Pikachu, another hint we could see high-resolution monsters in the next iteration of the franchise. We've seen other Nintendo titles, such as the Yoshi game coming to Switch, developed in Unreal 4, so it wouldn't be a total surprise to see Pokémon migrate to that engine, too. Of course, this is all rumor at the moment. There could be any number of reasons Creatures, Incorporated wants to hire an Unreal programmer, but it's still likely both Nintendo and Creatures, Incorporated wants to experiment with the options available for the first Pokémon Switch game. With the continued success of Pokémon Go and the impressive sales of mainline Pokémon games on the Nintendo 3DS bolstering the IP, we're expecting Nintendo to put everything it's got into the first Switch Pokémon game to really leverage the impressive install base the console has already managed to accrue.